accounts. Allow me to assure you that the deliberations that you'll be making before this committee are protected under Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, which gives immunity to the honorable members of parliament when they're in the house, as well as committee. This means that your submissions cannot be used against you in any courts of law and outside the parliamentary precincts. This is to the effect that the information that you give is not misleading and not untrue. Should you give misleading information to the committee, the same Cap 12 can be invoked against you. However, the committee reported that you cannot deliberately mislead the committee. Hence, we will ask you to freely make your submissions when called upon to do so. We will begin our deliberations with introductions. I will ask you, Council Secretary for Sinazongwe, to introduce yourself, after which you allow your members of your delegation to equally introduce themselves. At least those who would have not been asked to say something can be sure that they had said something to the committee. So I now invite you, Council Secretary, to introduce yourself.
God bless you, Chair. Good afternoon. My name is Cholo Maunga, Council Secretary, Sinazongwe Town Council, and good afternoon to the other honorable members and the permanent witnesses. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Mtonga Moffat, Director Engineering.
Good afternoon, Chair and the committee. So my name is Alan Waller, Director of Finance.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, committee members, honorable members of parliament, and good afternoon, permanent witnesses. My name is Mukoma Charles, Group Internal Auditor, Sinazongwe Town Council. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of the committee. My name is Kebi Michel, Senior Accountant's Assistant. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Besti Msegarumwi. I'm the Director, Human Resource and Administration, Sinazongwe Town Council.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. And good afternoon, permanent witnesses. My name is Njov Elton, Procurement Officer for Sinazongwe Town Council.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Chipego Mudenda, Director Planning. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will now invite our permanent witness from the Office of the Auditor General to introduce yourselves as well.
Good afternoon, Chair and your committee. Good afternoon, Sinazongwe Council. My name is Alphonsus Malambo. I'm the Director under the Office of the Auditor General. I'm accompanied by other officers who introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of parliament. And good afternoon, Sinazongwe Town Council. My name is Martin Muni. I'm the Assistant Director, Southern Province. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Luinda Sinyani from the Planning and Research Department in the Office of the Auditor General.
Thank you so much. Our permanent witness from the Ministry of Finance.
Good afternoon, Chair, and good afternoon, honorable members of parliament. Good afternoon to Sinazongwe Town Council. My name is Jeffan Siame from the Office of the Controller of Internal Audit, Ministry of Finance. Thank you.
Permanent witness from the Ministry of Local Government.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon to you and the honorable members of your committee. Welcome, Sinazongwe Town Council. Kazinga Kennedy, permanent witness from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, committee members, and good afternoon, Sinazongwe Town Council. My name is Joyce Kuvanza from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our permanent witness from the Local Government Service Commission.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and good afternoon. Good afternoon to the Honorable Members of Parliament. Good afternoon to the distinguished lady and gentlemen from Sinazongwe Town Council. My name is Asim Konda Shadrack. I'm a Deputy Commission Secretary, Local Government Service Commission.
Thank you so much. I now wish to invite the Honorable Members of Parliament to make introduction. Honorable Member for Usakili.
Thank you, Chair. Sinazongwe Town Council, good afternoon. Kalova Pavyuma is my name. I represent the good people of Sakile constituency, Kitwe, in the Copper Belt.
The people of Kaumbwe.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, permanent witnesses, and welcome, Sinazongwe. I am Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe constituency in Petaugi District. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Siavonga.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, permanent witnesses. Afternoon, Sinazongwe Town Council. Afternoon, colleagues. My name is Mulunda Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency, and a member of this committee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Witness, my name is Christopher Shakafuswa. Represent the good people of Mandevu constituency, which hosts the National Assembly. So you're actually welcome to Mandevu constituency and your committee. Substantively, I'm the vice chairperson of the committee and privileged to chair this session. I now wish to invite you on behalf of the committee to make your submission to the committee. Honorable Mulunda, your mic.
Thank you very much, Chair. Presenting paragraph 112, Sinazongwe Town Council. The first query relates to budget income and expenditure. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the audit finding of unspent funds amounting to 2,400,000. If it's okay with you, Chair, you could allow me to mention the figures to the nearest 100.
You read the figures as they are.
Okay. Amounting to 2,491,716 kwacha. The unspent funds arise from the funding received for construction of Malozilozi Bridge on 15th November 2023. Unspent funds for completion of Sinazeze Modern Market and a balance on the equalization fund received on 29th December 2023 as tabulated on the following table. Local Government Equalization Fund, 543,655 kwacha 38 ngwe. The funding for construction of Malozilozi Bridge, 1.2 million 38,732 kwacha 25 ngwe. And the third one is funding for the completion of Sinazeze Modern Market, which is at 709 kwacha 328 kwacha 37 ngwe, and the total is 2,491 kwacha 716. Action taken. The local authority had spent amounts totaling 543,655 kwacha 38 ngwe from the Local Government Equalization Fund on personal emoluments and 736,638 kwacha 43 ngwe on construction of Malozilozi Bridge as interim payment, and 256,571 kwacha 81 ngwe for purchase of a transformer for Sinazeze Modern Market. This left a balance of 954,805 kwacha 38 ngwe for the construction of Malozilozi Bridge and Sinazeze Modern Market, which are still under construction. Kindly refer to the table below and Appendix 1. Allow me to mention, Chair, that the figure under construction of Malozilozi Bridge has since changed. For the Local Government Equalization Fund, which is number 1, as stated, the figure of 543,655 38 ngwe was spent, leaving a new balance. The funding for construction of Malozilozi Bridge, as indicated, it is ongoing. Another payment was made recently, and this has left a balance. Instead of the 502 stated in the figure there, the balance is now at 321 kwacha 114.15 ngwe. And number 3, the funding for the completion of Sinazaze Market, the balance remains 452 kwacha 756.56 ngwe.
Do you wish to make an amendment on 2? Because what you're saying
on 2, yes,
and what is presented is at variance.
We could make an amendment with your indulgence, or we could maintain as it is, but we could present the proof of payment for the new amount that has been made, just to explain that the position has changed, because this has happened within the last few days after the report was already presented.
We'll go with what is in the document.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. Remedial measure. Management will continue to ensure that payments are made as and when they fall due. The second query, Chair, is favorable performance on locally generated revenue. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the audit finding of favorable performance on locally generated revenue achieved in the year under review. This was mainly attributed to the following measures and strategies that the Council applied, which include establishment of a revenue collection task force. Management appointed key officers as members of the revenue collection task force, which was tasked to improve the revenue collection of the local authority. This initiative was very impactful in implementing the planned revenue programs. Application of controls. Management applied cashless measures where clients deposit fees directly in council accounts for their trading licenses and permits, thereby reducing on cash handling. Transport. Management ensured that transport was provided for all planned revenue programs. The next query relates to other deliverable targets, outputs not achieved. Management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the audit finding of underperformance on resource mobilization and management program. This is because the Council did not spend all resources budgeted to CATA for resource mobilization and management program. One notable activity is the updating of the valuation role, as it only commenced in the year 2024 when all processes and approvals were concluded. Chair, as we look at the table that is given, which looks at activities that were to be implemented under the 2023 operational plan, we look at item 9 on resource mobilization and resource management, revenue management. We realize that not all the money or resources that were supposed to be spent on revenue mobilization were spent, and this resulted in a variance of 16.67%. Action taken. Management has since finalized all processes relating to updating of the valuation role, and resources have been spent accordingly. Kindly refer to Appendix 2. Remedial measure. Management will ensure that all approval processes for budgeted activities are concluded on time. The next query relates to inadequate staff levels for firefighting and service. Management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the audit finding that there was only one fire officer as at July 2024, and wish to state that initially there were completely no fire officers. The availability of the said officer and one other who has since reported is as a result of the positive response from the Local Government Service Commission, who have started filling in existing fire station vacancies which have been reported by the local authority through the staff returns and vacancy reports. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the matter has been reported to the Local Government Service Commission for their action, and one more officer has since been sent to the local authority, bringing the number of firefighters to 2. Kindly refer to Appendix 3. Remedial measure. The Council will continue submitting quarterly staff returns to the Local Government Service Commission showing all the vacancies. The next query, Chair, relates to failure to fully implement approved capital project. Management response, cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the audit finding of failure to implement capital projects. These are the Fire Station Phase 2 project and the KFW capital contribution due to limited resources. Action taken. The tender for construction of the Fire Station Phase 2 was floated and contract awarded. The draft contract has been sent to Attorney General for clearance, and the capital contribution to KFW has since been paid. Attached is correspondence relating to the contract clearance and proof of payment for the contribution to KFW. Kindly refer to Appendix 4. There's also a table here which clearly shows us the amounts for the fire station being 700,000 and being at clearance stage, and the 350,000 being capital contribution that has since been made. Remedial measure. Management to ensure that approved projects are implemented within the stipulated period. The next query relates to construction of Sinazongwe Modern Market, delayed completion of works. Management response, cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the audit finding of delayed completion of ramps and verandas for Sinazongwe Modern Market. This was due to the fact that these were additional works which were not yet approved at the time. Action taken. Management has written to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development through the Office of the Provincial Engineer, Department of Rural Development, Southern Province, requesting for works to be considered under labor-based contract in order to expedite the completion of the project. Kindly refer to Appendix 5. Remedial measure. Management will continue collaborating with the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development to ensure works are completed on time. The next query, Chair, is overemployment of staff. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the audit finding that there was a position held by 2 officers instead of 1. The local authority had 2 assistant committee clerks who were centrally employed by the Local Government Service Commission. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the matter was reported to the Local Government Service Commission for their action through submission of quarterly staff returns. Kindly refer to Appendix 6. In terms of remedial measure, the Council continues submitting quarterly staff returns and staff establishment register to the Local Government Service Commission, showing all vacancies and status of filled up positions for consideration. The next query, Chair, relates to failure to secure properties with title deeds. Cause of query being management response. Management acknowledges the audit finding of failure to secure title deeds. This is because some properties are on customary land under Mwemba chiefdom, which is in dispute and cannot issue titling authority. Other properties await processing by Ministry of Lands. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the Council has continued engaging Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources regarding processing of title deeds. Most importantly, the local authority has applied for a Zampoto corporate account in order to expedite the process. Kindly refer to the table below and Appendix 7. Chair, in taking you through the table, the first item is Siabaswe office in Mwemba Chiefdom. This particular item is awaiting the installation of Chief Mwemba. Item 2, undeveloped land in Mamba, awaiting for a local area plan from the Provincial Physical Planning Unit. The checkpoint office building in Mamba, this is also under customary land, awaiting installation of Chief Mwemba. Item 4, checkpoint office building in Sinazongwe. This is a numbered property, awaiting conclusion after submission to Ministry of Lands. Nkandabwe checkpoint, Sinazongwe, under customary land. Site inspections have since commenced with the new chieftainess. Sinazeze market in Sinazongwe, a numbered property, also submitted to the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources for processing of title. Item 7 is Mamba market in Mamba, a numbered plot submitted to Ministry of Lands, awaiting conclusion. Item 8 is Sinazongwe market in Sinazongwe, also a numbered plot, awaiting conclusion with Ministry of Lands. Item 9 is KFW complex Sinazongwe, which is at the stage of processing survey diagrams. And the fire brigade building, Sinazongwe, a numbered plot. All documents have been submitted to the Ministry of Lands, awaiting processing of title. Remedial measure, management to ensure that the Zampoto corporate account is used to expedite the application process for the local authority properties and acquire the title deeds. The next query, Chair, relates to failure to dispose of unserviceable motor vehicles. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the audit finding of failure to dispose of unserviceable motor vehicles as the local authority kept exploring the possibility of having them repaired. Action taken. Management constituted a disposal committee in line with the Public Finance Management Act. That's supposed to be number 1, Chair. Finance Management Act number 1 of 2018 that guides on procedure for disposal of assets. A committee for survey of government properties surveyed all serviceable assets for disposal on the 19th of September 2024, and these have since been marked for disposal. Kindly refer to Appendix 8. Remedial measure. Management to ensure that all assets are regularly maintained and serviced, and that those that may become unserviceable are quickly assessed, disposed of at the earliest possible time following laid down procedure. The next query, Chair, relates to failure to settle statutory obligations. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the audit finding that the local authority has accumulated debt from as far back as 2018 and wishes to state that the Council is committed to remit the statutory commitments as and when funds are available. Action taken. Management has so far paid amounts totaling 252,261 kwacha against the Council's debt, bringing the balance from the reported 5,311,900 to 5,059,639 kwacha. Management has committed to increasing the monthly payment to NAPSA from 20,000 to 30,000 against the existing debt effective 28th February 2025, and this has been communicated to NAPSA, whereas the debt owed to NIMA has since been cleared. Kindly refer to the table below, which table indicates the payments that has since been made to NIMA and cleared, and the NAPSA payments amounting to 192,811, ZRA with a balance of 1.6 million, leaving the debt at the mentioned 5,059,639. Remedial measure. Management to ensure to increase its income generating capacity by ensuring that initiatives such as the coal levy bylaw are implemented and proceed channeled towards debt liquidation. Additionally, The Council has worked tirelessly and concluded all required processes to update the main valuation roll, which is envisaged to improve the revenue base. The next query, Chair, relates to failure to settle staff obligations. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the audit finding of failure to settle staff obligations. This debt accumulated over time due to limited resources, making it difficult for the local authority to meet staff obligations as they fell due at the time. Action taken. Management has since been liquidating the debt, and amounts totaling 666,690 kwacha 90 ngwe have since been paid in terminal benefits as at 31st December 2024, leaving a balance of 793,048 kwacha 10 ngwe. This is from the 1,459,739 kwacha reported as at 31st December 2023. Kindly refer to the table below and to Appendix 10. Chair, the table there shows the terminal benefits, the payment of 666,691 kwacha that was made, leaving a balance of 793,048 kwacha. And the balance remains 996,384 kwacha. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to increase its income generation through initiatives such as the coal levy bylaw in order to meet staff obligations. Additionally, Chair, as earlier mentioned, the Council has worked tirelessly and concluded all required processes to update the main valuation roll, which is envisaged to improve the revenue base, thereby strengthening the local authority's ability to meet staff obligations. In closing, I wish to assure the committee that all remedial measures submitted shall be enhanced in order to attain expected service delivery to the community of Sinazongwe. I submit for your consideration.
Thank you so much, Council Secretary, for your submission. I now invite the honorable members of the committee to interrogate your submission. Honorable Member for Kaumbwe.
Thank you, Chair. May first start referring the committee to page 3.
Page what?
Page 3 of the submission. Page 3 is showing details of expenditure, budget and income, and at the time of audit there was 2,491,706 kwacha, 16 kwacha unspent, and the council went on further to explain the expenditure plan, which is under page 4. That part of that money, the 2,491,716, is spent on 3 projects. Local government under the local government equalization fund, the 543 is supposed to be used on the personal emoluments, and then you have Molo Zilozi Bridge funding for construction of Sinazeze modern market. It is well elaborated, the expenditure page, how much they have spent from that unspent fund, and even the balance as at 10th January 2025. We are referred to Appendix 1 for evidence. Appendix 1, I can see 2 ledgers. One for Sinazeze modern market, which is showing the balance to be 452,756. And the next ledger is for Molo Zilozi Bridge, which is 500 502,048 kwacha. The points of clarification are that the two ledgers for Sinazongwe Modern Market and the Molozilozi Bridge are showing that there is a balance unspent funds of total just slightly above 900. This is 2 years down the line from the time that the auditors confirmed the unspent funds in December 2023, and this is now 2025, it's almost 2 years. So these projects are still ongoing. What is the delay in the construction of these projects, Sinazongwe Market as well as this Molozilozi Market, when you have the funds in your account of above 900, which is close to $1 million earmarked for these two projects? The second question, if you look closely at the ledger Sinazongwe Market and the Molozilozi Bridge, the format is different. For Sinazongwe Modern Market, there is no column for details of payment. Why? And there is no evidence to show that these funds that have been earmarked for these two projects have been received by the beneficiaries, the contractors, so to say. There are no payment vouchers, there are no... so how would we believe that the monies as per like Molozilozi Bridge 736,683 has been spent on this project? There's no evidence. So there's no proof to the contract, there's no proof to show that this money has been expended. Thank you.
Yes, Council Secretary, you may respond.
Thank you very much, Chair. I note the concerns from the Honorable Member. The first question was relating to the delay. The first attachment we have put is a bank statement just to show the Honorable Members when these funds were actually received. Yes, indeed, the audit was for the year ending 31st December 2023, but the first funding, if you check the first document, Chair, number 018, the very first document after you flip the chart on which says Appendix 1, just after the separator, Appendix 1, there's a bank statement which is attached. The first page, you find a second figure on the far right, which is 1.2 million, 338, quarter 732. That amount was received on the 16th of November 2023. Just to give clarity on the aspect that it has not been 2 years, Chair. The time the auditors came to the local authority, it should have been around July. And we must mention that we could not commence, for example, for Molozilozi Bridge, in terms of construction. First of all, we had to go through the procurement processes, and in the rain season, we could not start that project. So procurement processes began, and as at where we are now, the project is nearing completion. We have even the progress report as at present, which, Chair, I must mention, was indeed not attached. Therefore, his concern is indeed noted and appreciated.
The evidence of payment?
Evidence of payment.
Speak to what you are presenting in the ledgers?
Yes, Chair. In terms of the proof of payment, we have the progress reports for Molozilozi Bridge, which we can share with you, Chair, if that is okay with you.
Why didn't you attach it in the report? A memorandum?
At times, Chair, it is, when you look at the ledgers that we presented, you would think that they would be sufficient because they're adequately signed, but I note that we could still avail that document, and that is why we've carried it.
I know you've been following proceedings of these sessions, and the committee has been insisting on bank statements to prove that indeed the unspent funds were paid, and this is the kind of evidence that the committee would like to see. And like to just see a report generated. We want to see the movement of funds to speak to the implementation of the program. You have the bank statements?
Proof of payments.
Proof of payment, you can circulate to Secretariat. For all the 3 projects?
Yes, there's a payment for the transformer that has been referred to. The proof of payment is here. For Malozilozi Bridge, the proof of payment
Kindly
as well.
give it to Secretariat. The Honorable Member for Kaumbwe.
Following your explanation that you thought that the ledgers would be adequate to explain the expenditure, the ledger for Sinazongwe Modern Market, what is the total cost of this project? Before I go to my question, the Sinazongwe Modern Market, what is the total cost?
This is the 8 million. Chair, the total cost for Sinazongwe Modern Market is 12,894,054 kwacha 25 ngwe.
Oh, 12 million for the modern market. Okay. Now, this ledger.
You can switch off your mic, witness.
This ledger for Sinazongwe Modern Market. You didn't answer my question when I said the format of presentation for Sinazongwe and Malozilozi is different, because Malozilozi is showing the details of payment and the monies that have been sent to the contractor. But if you look at the Sinazongwe Modern Market, I can only trace 256,571 at the bottom under debit. What of the amounts that are before the 256,000? So it gives a picture that for this type of ledger, for a ledger for any particular project, it must show the budget or the cost, and then the payments that have been made towards the implementation of that project, and then you have a balance. Because we are just, you just deal with a project. So the explanation, how do you explain these figures that are above the 256,000 kwacha?
Yes, Council Secretary, you may respond.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll allow the Director Engineering to respond to that.
Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. To respond to the Honorable, what we have presented as proof of payment is the figure of the 256 which we paid in 2024 after the credit amount of 700 as unspent balance in 2023. Then the above figures, we couldn't attach the proof of payments because it was not part of the credit amount. So those were payment for the interim payment certificates. And to mention here, just to add on, is that the contract sum was 12 million, of which the advance was paid directly from the ministry. So what we received from the ministry as an institution was the 8 million, which is shown on the ledger. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any follow-up question? Honorable Pavima? If you have a follow-up, Honorable.
Yes, okay, just
Dr.
last one so that we...
Please go ahead.
Yeah. You are giving a lot more pertinent information now through your verbal presentation. What we expected is that from your local government equalization fund, the contribution of the local government equalization fund towards this project is well stipulated, is well tabulated in page 4. That Sinazongwe market, you would get 709,000 kwacha towards the Sinazongwe market. Whereas the Mlozozi bridge, you would get 1,238,000 kwacha. And now to present a ledger for Sinazongwe market, because the query is on the local government equalization fund contribution to these two projects, we wanted to see that the contribution, the queried amount that is allocated to Sinazongwe is 709. The total contract sum is no problem, we cannot even mention it, but we should show that 700,000 kwacha is the contribution towards this Sinazongwe market. And out of the 700,000 kwacha, we have spent so far 256,000 kwacha. And the balance contribution from the local government equalization towards the cost of this project would be the balance of 452. But it is very difficult now for us to audit because we are talking of advance payment. So there's a funding direct from ministry, 8 million, which you are saying is shown on the ledger here. Can you show me where is the 8 million here? I'm asking about the 8 million because you talked about the 8 million that it is in the ledger.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. The 8 million is the opening amount at the top of the ledger. 8,670,540.69 ngwe.
And now we start demolishing the 8,570,000. There's a debit of 2,288,000. It went towards the Sinazongwe market to this very contractor. But now you will find that the balance 452 is we cannot even tell whether it is a balance as from the local government equalization contribution, because you have combined the funding from ministry as well as what was queried, and you put into one ledger. Anyway, it was just a matter of clarity that next time we need to answer the query as it is queried. You queried the funding from local government, so just account for that fund.
I hope you have taken note of the council witness.
Noted, Chair. Thank you.
Honorable Pavima.
Thank you very much, Chair. May I take the committee to page 10?
Page 10.
Part C. The query on delayed completion works on Sinazongwe modern market. On the action taken, they've told us that they've written to the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development through the Office of the Provincial Engineer Department of Rural Department, Southern Province, requesting for works to be considered under labor-based contract in order to expedite the completion of the project. And in their opening statement, they've told us that as at 31st July 2024, the contractor had issued IPCs amounting to 11,184,725, out of which the council had paid a total of 8,217,704, leaving a balance of 2,000,000 966 941. And the evidence for the all party C delayed the completion works on this market, Chair, is on Appendix 5 according to them. May I draw the committee to Appendix 5? So, when we check Appendix 5, yes, there's a letter which was written on 15th November 2024 to the provincial engineer. But there is no proof of payment of the 8,217,784. No proof of payment. And they have not exhibited the IPCs from the contractor. So, does it mean that they don't have evidence? They didn't even pay this money because it's even part of the dilemmas that has caused this Sinazongwe market not to have finished? And again, in your letter you are requesting for labor-based. What advantage is it going to bring on the table? And how sure are you that funds to complete through labor-based will be found? Another question from page 18, Chair.
Okay, can they respond to this question?
Okay.
Then we go to page 18. Yes, Council Secretary.
Thank you very much, Chair. I appreciate the question from the Honorable Member. I just thought maybe I could clarify the query being relating to the works of delayed completion of the ramps and verandas at the market, and these were not yet approved at the time, and maybe that is why he may have found our evidence in Appendix 5 restricting us to what we have done, because we felt that since this project at the moment has already exceeded its defects liability period, and we thought as a local authority if we can use the funds that are available to process this project on labor-based, it would be faster. But then these works that were queried at the time, Chair, I indicated earlier, they were not yet approved. So one of the things we've had to do is follow up on the approval of those works. And after that, now we are kindly requesting, and even as at this afternoon, I was making a phone call to the principal engineer just to follow up how far, who has indicated that there's a possibility that they may allow for the works to be done under labor-based contract. The difference in responding to the Honorable Member's question is that these are works that have been procured centrally, but if these works are now under the local authority's control, materials are purchased, the same team from engineering that has been supervising the works, yet waiting for certain approvals in terms of procurement procedures from the ministry, it could be faster if the materials are already purchased. That is where the reasoning came from, Chair.
Honorable Kalobo.
Chair, let me also learn from the CSC. Works that are procured centrally, when they are queried, you don't bring evidence. Because obviously, there should be some payment vouchers and the IPCs at central. And when it appeared as a query to you, obviously, would have requested from the central local government so that you could avail before this committee to approve. Nevertheless, Chair, allow me to jump to page 18 on staff obligation. Chair, here, when the local authority have evidence, they will behave the way they've behaved on this particular one, on staff obligation. If you see here, every voucher is accompanied by a bank statement. A proper bank statement, not those generated, the system generated I don't know if it's from the street we are seeing in other evidence, but the problem I have here is I wanted to find out, as a local authority, don't you have a standard voucher? Because my observation here is that there are 3 types of voucher that you have exhibited. For example, maybe your first voucher, this is Appendix 10, on Appendix 10, the evidence. Your first voucher to Malumo Simasiku. And the second voucher bearing the name Maurice Insofwa. There's also another voucher, should be the 6th or 5th one, bearing the name Irene Muya. If you look at the 3 documents here, they are different, but your own council, could it be that some are generated in the street? What? Obviously, we expected you to have a standard. You as a council, even if it's a system, if it's generated on the computer, there's a template. Just one template on the computer. If it's a book, like a receipt book, the way it appears, obviously it will not change. So why do we have this difference? And if you look at the first voucher, for me, it's a proper voucher because you are able to check if you yourself as CS approved, if a senior accountant had approved, if the internal audit had approved, even the person who prepared, you are able to see, and the other people apart from the internal auditor who have checked the document, you are able to see. But on the 2 other vouchers, if you see, I can't see where the internal auditor here. I can only see the accountant. These other ones, it's just a signature. I don't know if it is yourself or your CS. Internal auditor is not, especially, very important is the internal auditor. There is no internal auditor here. Check another one, the 3rd one. Same one. This one is the more confusing one. I don't know if it was meant to confuse the committee so that they don't know if it is evidence or not evidence. Chair, let me respond to those. Any other questions?
Yes, Council Secretary.
Thank you very much, Chair. The difference in the vouchers is that one is manually done and the other one is system generated. There are times when the system is down and vouchers have to be done manually. And given the submission from the Honorable Member Chair, we are tempted to say that maybe we need to tailor-make the system generated voucher to suit the manual voucher because they may seem to be in the order that would be preferred. But otherwise, if you check, the first voucher is manual, the others are system generated. I want to believe systems can always be improved. So if that is not bringing out all the information, it can still be improved upon to fit what the manual says. Have you looked at the
voucher for Irene Muya? Is it system generated? The second one, yes, you can see because there's even a batch number here. You can tell that this is a system. But for Irene Muya, in case you haven't seen it, it's here.
I have it, Chair.
Have it. So this one is also system.
It's manual.
And it's very faint. Chair, again it takes us back to what we observed with other witnesses. All vouchers that relates to anything that relates to payment which comes as evidence here, you find that it is faint. I don't know if the copiers countrywide in local councils they develop a effort when you are photocopying payment-related documents.
Yes, Council Secretary. What is your comment? Your response?
Thank you very much, Chair. I note the fact that the particular voucher for Irene is faint. That one is not system generated. It's manually done. And then in answering an earlier question, Chair, he did allude to the fact that there could be a challenge with the internal audit. I think on all the vouchers, there's an aspect of verification. I've seen some at the top verified by internal audit. The particular one for Irene Muya, there's an internal audit signature at the bottom. But then we must also add that we've not just attached the vouchers, there's also the proof of payment. It is attached. That could maybe help the situation, attached to the particular vouchers.
Is it written internal audit?
Which one?
The same one for Irene?
Yes.
Or you just know the auditor? Where?
It's written. Maybe assisted by...
You have a clear copy?
I have a document here. I'm seated with a document.
He's just going to show you where it says internal audit.
Indeed, you have managed to
it's
confuse
assistant
us.
internal auditor.
Eh?
AIS stands for assistant
So
internal auditor.
when I'm alone, I'll be able to read internal auditor. So now, my other question, Chair. I agree with you that when there's a problem, obviously, you have an alternative, which is very good, right? You have a manual voucher. But why don't you have a standard with manual vouchers? Because now we are seated with two different manual vouchers. Why don't you have a standard also for the manual vouchers so that there are no suspicions, because these are payments. Just when you look at the document, this one, even yourself, if it was me bringing it to you, you definitely suspect me before I even start explaining. So why don't you develop a standard one, also the manual one and the system ones? Thank you, Chair.
Yes, CS.
We have taken note, Chair. We shall standardize the document.
Thank you. Ministry of Local Government, you have a comment to make?
Yes, Chair, we have. Just also to give comfort to the committee, there are quite a number of progressive transformation policy arrangements that have been done. So as you take note of Honorable Karove's observation, go back and refer at the accounting manual and procedures, which was launched in January 2024, so that your vouchers, both system or manual, they are tailored to there. It's an appendix in that manual. That could be the guidance that we'll give. And just like any other compliance requirement, from 2024 going onward for the next 3 to 5 years, the accounting manual and the procedures that was signed off by the Accountant General and the Secretary to the Treasury, that is the reference point. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mulunda.
Just a quick one on page 4. I want to understand what could have triggered a favorable performance on locally generated revenue.
Yes, Council Secretary.
Thank you very much, Chair. To have the favorable performance, we had to employ a number of systems and measures. As earlier indicated, I think the most notable is the Revenue Collection Task Force that we put in place as a local authority to ensure that we are able to collect more money than we could have collected before. And then the other thing I think that is usually a challenge when it comes to revenue collection is transport. And we ensure that we did our best to see to it that transport is provided, especially for the revenue collection task force.
Honorable Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe.
Thank you, Chair. I'm still not satisfied with the submission concerning the Sinazeze market and the Mulowezi market. Chair, we are talking about projects that have been funded to a tune of 12 million kwacha. Like the Sinazeze market. I'm not sure about the cost for Mulowezi. Mulolozi. Malozilozi, yes. Oh, Malozilozi, yes. What is the project cost for Malozilozi?
Director Engineering.
1.3. Let me give you the exact figure, Chair. 1,310,883,000.
Okay. So, we are talking of two projects that have been queried that are in the range closer to almost 14 million total. 12 million for project, the model market, and then the balance, the Malozilozi. So, but Chair, Council cannot even provide evidence of payments to the contractors, cannot even provide even a picture, a photo. You are talking of a 12 million kwacha project, and so far it is confirmed in the documentation, in the presentation here. The council has spent close to almost 9 million, 8 million something towards the Sinazeze market. I want to find out the motive of hiding evidence. Is it not your pride in your presentation to show that under Sinazeze Town Council we have handled, even though the project was centrally procured, to show that we have handled the 12 million kwacha modern project as in Sinazeze market? What is the motive of hiding this important data? Then through engagement, Chair, also, I find that more as we engage, there are certain kind of details that are unveiled, like the council secretary said that this project has already gone beyond the defects liability period. When it has already gone beyond the defects liability period, it means the project has to be terminated. And that even made us to guess, to say that is why they are even asking for labor base to finish off certain kind of activities. So why it still centers on why you have to hide very important information in your submission, more especially that these capital projects are of high value. So we want you to do a complete submission of these two projects, talking about the contract, talking about the variations that have been issued, and the financials pertaining to these two projects up to their logical conclusion. It is very easy for us now to announce, to say Sinazeze has handled the 12 million to kwacha project. It is just a request. Otherwise, really for sure, you cannot even provide the pictures.
I will follow up on Honorable Mulunda's question.
Okay, before you make a follow-up, I will allow the Ministry of Local Government to make a comment.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, members of the committee, for that generated interest in the Sinazeze market. Yes, we wish to confirm that the project was contracted and funded centrally from the ministry. It suffered a few setbacks over years, but as of last week, we were in Sinazeze, save for the ramps which we observed that they need to be taken in. It's a very good delivered project which will house more than, I think, 10,000 or so traders. It has spacious areas, and really, as you have said, Honorable Mwanza, it's a pride for the council that they could have showed even the pictures, but also has guided with Honorable Kalowe that if they sought permission from the ministry or just asked for those payment vouchers and the IPCs, they should have been delivered to the committee. But we can affirm the project has been funded by the ministry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kalobo.
Thank you very much, Chair. I wanted to find out from the CSC on this favorable performance on locally generated revenue. I know for you to have scored this because of the interventions that you had put in, the ones you have highlighted here, like the Revenue Collection Task Force, application of controls, transport. This was very good, but what measures have you put in place to make sure that you sustain the same? And also, what measures have you put in other areas like fees and charges where you have scored the negative? What measures are there so that you can also improve, so that your council can attain financial stability? I thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you so much. Council Secretary, you may respond.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you for the commendation. One thing I must mention, Chair, is that as a local authority, we intend to continue with the Revenue Collection Task Force. We have actually enhanced the task force. In this task force, we are ensuring that even people who are senior in management are involved, and that the Director of Finance also is involved in checking that their operations are in conformity with financial regulations. We are enhancing the cashless payments that we mentioned earlier. We are encouraging people to deposit their payments instead of handling this money. And we are privileged as a local authority that now the ministry has guided local authorities to come up with service charters that we have rolled out, or rather we are rolling out across the country, to just assure members of the public in terms of how they expect to interact with us, what they expect from us and what we expect from them. And one of the things that we are putting out there is the cashless payments, which we need to enhance, and we're digitizing most of our processes. In terms of the markets,
please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. In terms of the markets, we're even updating the market registers from the manual that they were. We're now working towards digitizing them. And we have also engaged the WDCs who are working with us very closely in terms of the revenue collection. There are certain areas in Sinazongwe like Namazambwe, Kafambila area, where you'd take 6 hours, Chair, to drive within Sinazongwe. You start off from Sinazeze, at 6 hours you'll be getting to Kafambila at 13 hours or 12 hours plus. Now, one of the things we look at as a local authority is it would be a loss if we're going to be sending people to go and collect money from there every other day, even if it's every other week. So the WDCs are doing a commendable job and also helping, and these are some of the methods that we intend to continue with.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kalobo. I see you have a follow-up.
Yes, I have a follow-up, Chair. The CSC, as in a response, she says they intend to continue. Yes, I know. Where you score positive, you intend to continue, because just this undertaking, it has got financial implications. That was the angle that I wanted. It has got financial implications. Obviously, there was a certain budget which was for you to have scored when you task force the transportation issues. So on this one score where it is positive, your preparations for you to perform better than the way you have done, have you increased the budget? Have you set aside a budget bigger than what you had? Because now you have confidence. You have scored on one. So to score positive on everyone, have you increased what you planned previously? Is it the same? Have you set aside these funds? Because if there is no funds, you will not score. You go back again. So is there a particular budget specifically which you have reserved despite you being financially constrained? Have you set aside some funds?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Chair. I could confidently say yes, we have. In our budget, we have included more funding towards revenue mobilization. But I must also mention, Chair, the very fact that we have successfully completed all the processes relating to the upgrading or updating of the valuation rule, it means that as a local authority, we are going to have much more money than we had previously. And even if
yes, we have set aside funds to continue the positive trajectory.
Yes.
Council Secretary and your team, I want to thank you for your appearance before the committee. The committee commends Sinazongwe Town Council. Your commitment to governance and service delivery, identifying key areas for urgent action and improved accountability. Some of the key priorities that the committee has noted and wish to recommend for action is financial management, ensure timely fund utilization, and prevent project delays. For service delivery, we're saying strengthen revenue collection, address firefighting staff shortages, and expedite key projects. Accountability, develop a debt repayment plan and settle staff obligations, and fast-track title deed acquisitions. Asset management, dispose of unserviceable vehicles and improve asset management. It's been a long day for the committee members. As we come to the end of the session, we had given you immunity according to Cap 12. The same is hereby withdrawn, and what you now submit from this end, you are on your own. Do you want to make a comment?
Well, thank you so much for being with us on Parliament Television. We've come to the end of today's live broadcast of committee, and this is the Local Government Accounts Committee, where they were interacting with 4 local authorities. Earlier in the day, around 09:30 hours thereabout, we did begin with the Mufulira Municipal Council, and this was led by Mrs. Kasonde Chisanga Musongole, and followed by the Council Secretary from Zimba Council, and this is Mr. Collins Simonga, who happens to be the Council Secretary from Zimba Town Council. After lunch, we heard Pemba as witnesses for today, and this was led by Mr. Chilombo Samuel, who happens to be the Council Secretary. And we also witnessed the Sinazongwe Town Council making their presentation regarding the report of the Auditor General on the audit of the accounts of local authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. And so that's where we end today's transmission in terms of live broadcast of committees. Remember, the station goes on until 22 hours. On behalf of the 2 sign language interpreters, that's Jason Manda, and not forgetting Chola Kauman, the entire production crew. My name is Posent Ndovi. Remember, the committee is back next week on Monday at 09:30 hours, and on Monday they'll begin their meetings with Mazabuka Municipal Council, which will be followed by Monze Town Council. And my colleague that will be here in the morning on Monday will be able to let you in on some of the local authorities that will appear before the same committee as they continue considering the report of the Auditor General on the audit of the accounts of local authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2020. God bless and have a fantastic weekend.